They are systematically taking over every facet of your life, your health, your money, your shelter, not because they're innovators, self-driving cars, we're going to Mars, but because they are tyrants. They're tyrants in waiting. Ronald Reagan once said the 9 most terrifying words in the English language. Even back then, conservatives were scared of words. The 9 most terrifying words in English are, I'm from the government and I want to help. Now granted, this was from his first term, because during his second term, the 9 most terrifying words there were, if you were within 20 feet of this guy, was that I've pooped myself, I need someone to help. And I know that's not 9 words, but Ronald Reagan didn't know it was 9 words either. Now, Reagan didn't say that as a warning to people. Well, maybe the second one was a warning to people. Mr. Gorbachev, change my diaper. But Reagan was laying out a mission statement, right? He created an entire trope around this. A phantom black woman driving a Cadillac to go pick up her food stamps while you're there in your 10 to 12. Your 10 to 12 hour job. And this was to plant the seeds, to start convincing the working people that the government just wasn't for them. It was for the undeserving. It was for the black lady in the Cadillac. It was for the moochers, right? He taught America that asking your government for help or to look after you made you a scammer. So you'd never dream of that if you were an upright, patriotic citizen. And looking at the current president, I don't think anyone can argue that Reaganism worked. There's an old saying, Republicans say the government's bad and broken, and then they get in and they prove it. And that's not even a saying anymore. It's been a fact of life for my entire life. And you could just look at what's happening, right? For a brief shining moment, the Department of Transportation had a rule that forced airlines to give you cash compensation if they delayed your flight for hours on end. It was simple, effective piece of government help. But what did it do? It made the front-facing government to you actually seem functionable, actually seem like you could be a part of it, actually seem like it was there to protect you. Protect you from who? The airlines. Protect you from who? The oligarchs. But they couldn't have you start to get those ideas in your head, because then what else would you start to think the government should protect you from? You know what I mean? So now what? Delta strand you in Atlanta for 20 hours, 24 hours, and they give you a $5 voucher to Sbarro and an email written by a robot? Here, get out of here. They're removing the firewall, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, right? An agency created with one job, to be a watchdog that stops banks, credit card companies, and predatory lenders. You know how much it saved Americans? In the first decade, it saved you $12 billion passively. It was a part of the government that was front-facing, that was helping you. So it had to go, because it was a firewall between your savings and Wall Street greed. And if that sounds bleak, it's because it probably is. Right now, what we're in is the endgame of the Reagan mission statement. We're in the endgame now. For the past 45 years, they've been convincing you that the government is your enemy. The second part is to break all the parts that could improve your life. I'm not talking about their lives. I'm not talking about the people they serve's lives. They specifically break the front-facing parts of the government, the ones you have to deal with. So once you develop that sentiment among the people, the third thing you could do is where we're at right now. Hell, we might be at the end stage of this one. You start dismantling all of it. You start dismantling every piece that actually can protect you from the people that are robbing you. And this is just to keep you believing that it's either trust them, trust the oligarchs, or live in a bureaucratic hell. They don't want you to know that there's nothing in between. I mean, countries like what? Estonia? You can register for a business in 20 minutes. You can file your taxes in 5. You can vote online. They don't want you to know that these developed nations have unified digital systems that respect their citizens' time. They can't even protect you from the airlines because they realize that one of these morons, while they're sitting around, we got stuck in Newark for like 5 hours, and I ended up talking to a Chud on accident. It was terrible. But even that Chud, as dumb as he was, conspiracy-ridden, all the way down to his bone. After those 5 hours, he even was like, this is messed up. They should give us some of our money back. You know what I mean? So even he started to get it. But if you plant that seed, if the government starts protecting you from these snakes, then you start asking, well, why aren't they protecting us over here? Why aren't there more safety nets when we fall?
And what? And I also want to point out that it is so rich that the Republicans believe in small government. And this is the biggest government that I've ever seen, because they have decided that now they are going to somehow be the local police that is going to solve local crime as the federal level. That is not what we're supposed to do, especially on our level. What we do is we write federal laws. That is our job, and that is the lane that we're going to stay in. And the only reason we're talking about January 6th.
Charlie didn't talk about your taxes being stolen because, as you know, Jasmine so eloquently puts, the Republicans love your tax dollars. Stealing from billionaires is theft because it's theft because of the 10 Commandments.
Thou shalt not tax billionaires.
We could have universal health care. We could have mental health care. We could have a government website that doesn't look like Windows 95. You know what I mean? We could have all that with billions of dollars left over if we just funded it with the same blank check enthusiasm we gave the 7th largest army now in the world. ICE. Charlie says take a billionaire's money breaks the 10 Commandments, but he's more than happy to take your money. He's more than happy to take it and funnel it into this secret police, this secret army that wears masks on their face. And we're already getting to that point now where it's just normalized. No one cares anymore, right? That there's masked cop, there's a mass secret police just snatching people up, and it's funded by our tax dollars. You want to talk about the 10 Commandments? Is there nothing in there with snatching people up when you have a mask on? Because if there isn't, I think the 10 Commandments need to be updated. And in a year, it's going to be even more normalized. They're going to be there at the voting booth, looking over your shoulder with their masks on. They might say they're there to look for illegals. At that point, I don't even know if they need to say that. I don't even know if they need that predicate to lie on. But you can come back to this episode in a year, and I guarantee there will be masked ICE agents at the polling station. And to use nationalism, which the Supreme Court held up, they said basically you can arrest someone because of the color of their skin. That's what came out this week. To use that nationalism. And the damn irony is the government they've taken away from us, because make no mistake, I hate to be the one to tell you if you don't know yet, you know, this government's gone. It's going to take something drastic to ever get it back. It can't be fixed. It's going to have to be something new. This government has been taken from us. But the people cheering on this weaponized government because it's going after immigrants, it's sending them around, it's blowing up ships that are 1,500 miles away from our shore. The people celebrating this, the people back in my hometown of Price, Utah, who've been there for generations, you know, whose parents were born here. They're not immigrants. Their great-grandpas were born here. And you know what? I think half of them, when I left, are all on some kind of government assistance, on some kind of welfare. Where's their bootstraps? I can't tell you how many people back at home whose parents taught them how to rig the system to live off welfare their whole life, right? They're the welfare queens Reagan was talking about, but the face doesn't match up. His welfare queen does not look like the people back home. This is who the Republicans villainize now. This is why Charlie Kirk says your money can't go to helping people, because it's all going here. It's going to the people that pick my food, right? The people that fix my car. People that cook in restaurants. The people who give my dog a haircut before she goes to her super important birthday parties. Right? They're all immigrants. These people aren't on welfare because they can't sign up for welfare. No matter what the right tells you, they can't sign up for welfare. There's no safety net for them. They have to work. And they pay taxes. Ironically, the same tax dollars that are used to fund the stormtroopers coming after them. Meanwhile, I log on to Facebook like twice a year. And the deadbeats back home post on there how proud they are to be an American. I'm so proud to be American. I mean, what are you proud of? What are you proud of, Bubba? You didn't do anything. Let me tell you something. If you ever hear someone say they're proud to be an American, or if you say I'm proud to be an American, if that's where the source of your pride comes from, It is in proportion to just how big of a loser you are. I see these people back home. I'm proud to be American. You're proud that your dad was a 17-year-old who had no pull-out game, so he knocked up your mom when she was 16 years old? That's your contribution. That's your source of pride. You happen to be born inside, this particular set of lines on a map. I'm proud of it. My greatest accomplishment. And then you went on to become nothing but a human hate sponge that props up billionaires. I'm really proud of that. Now get these people that pick all my food, get them out of my country. They might take my job or my place on the couch. And that's the whole point. They sell you this cheap, brain-dead nationalism because they need you to stay mad at the people. They need you to stay mad at the government. A functioning democratic republic is a threat. It's a direct threat to authoritarianism and oligarchy because it protects you from that. And that's what it was designed to do. What do you think the people coming over, remember they wear that 1790 on their shirt sleeve? Do they even know what it means? What do they think they were fleeing? But all that disappears in the mush brains under those red hats. They make them furious that the front-facing government, the DMV, the post office, the potholes, they get you so mad at the peeling paint on the house that you don't notice they've got a crew in the basement completely gutting out all the plumbing. Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg. These guys don't want to be citizens in this country. It should be apparent at this point. They want to be kings. If you tax us, you break the 10 Commandments. They want to be kings. They want to be the ones that decide your fate. They don't want government to help you out. They want everything you need to come from them because then you are beholden to them. Break government healthcare, party of life. Why would they want that? Because they want you, if you have to see a doctor, if you want to go to it, they want it so you have had to put in your 50 hours, at their company in order to get that directly related to them. They break the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau because it was the only way to keep your money safe from predatory banks. Now you can't do it, so their buddies can rob you blind. You're screwed. They let their private equity buddies buy up every single family home on the market before you even get a chance. That way, they can rent it back to you so you don't own anything, so you're beholden to them. They are systematically taking over every facet of your life, your health, your money, your shelter, not because they're innovators, self-driving cars, we're going to Mars, but because they are tyrants. They're tyrants in waiting. Ronald Reagan said the 9 most terrifying words were, "I'm from the government and I'm here to help." And you know what? He was half right. He trained a whole generation in this country to look in the wrong direction. And the most terrifying reality in America today isn't the government showing up at your door. It's realizing the government has already been sold. And the new owners are showing up at your door because it's time to collect. The Chud Report.